Have you ever wondered what your life could look like if just 1 month from now, everything felt different? If you woke up with energy that wasn't borrowed from coffee, clarity that wasn't clouded by doubt, and confidence that didn't tremble at every decision? Imagine for a moment the weight of frustration lifting, the constant noise in your mind quieting, and a sense of purpose guiding every step you take. That feeling isn't a fantasy reserved for a select few. It's waiting for you right now, if you are willing to take the first deliberate step. Most people drift through life believing that change requires massive effort, perfect timing, or an external miracle. But the truth is far simpler. The power to transform doesn't come from dramatic leaps or radical reinventions. It comes from the tiny, deliberate actions you take every single day. It comes from habits, small routines repeated with unwavering focus, each one sending a ripple through every part of your life, touching your mind, your body, your emotions, and your future. These habits are not just behaviors, they are declarations. They tell the universe and, more importantly, yourself that you refuse to remain stuck, that you are done waiting for life to happen to you, and that you are ready to step into the life you were meant to live. In the next moments, you are going to discover 3 habits so simple that anyone can do them, yet so powerful that when practiced consistently for just 1 month, they will shake the foundation of your old routines and create unstoppable momentum. You don't need more willpower. You don't need more motivation. You just need to decide with clarity and courage that you will show up for yourself. By the time you finish this video, you will understand how to take control of your mornings, harness your body's energy to fuel your mind, and reflect on your days in a way that strengthens your confidence and sharpens your focus. You will see that transformation isn't reserved for the extraordinary. It is the natural result of applying intention to your daily life. Picture waking up in 30 days with a life that feels lighter, more energized, more aligned with your purpose. Imagine the excitement of taking action instead of the dread of procrastination, the calm satisfaction of knowing you are progressing instead of the anxiety of feeling stuck, the quiet power of self-discipline replacing the chaos of indecision. That's the reward waiting for you, and it is far more than just a momentary high. It is the foundation of a life you will never want to leave, a life that proves to you every day that you are capable of more than you ever believed possible. The only question is whether you are willing to step into it. Right now, as you listen, you have the opportunity to decide that this month will be different, that the choices you make, the habits you adopt, and the small, consistent actions you take will no longer be negotiable, that you will no longer drift through days hoping for change, but instead create it with precision, with intent, and with courage. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn isn't just advice. It's the blueprint for reclaiming control over your life and transforming it in ways that will leave no part of you untouched. This is the moment where everything begins to shift. This is the moment where your life can finally start to move in the direction you've been waiting for. Change begins in the mind long before it shows up in your actions. Every habit you adopt is a signal to your brain, a message that tells it who you are, what you value, and what is possible for you. Most people ignore this truth. They focus on goals, as if goals alone will create transformation. But goals without systems are fragile. They break the moment life pushes back. Habits, however, are different. They are the invisible architecture of your identity, shaping who you become without requiring monumental effort. Your brain craves consistency. It thrives on repetition. It grows stronger with each small act of discipline, rewiring itself in ways that build confidence, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. This is why people who change their habits consistently become people who change their lives. Every day, each choice you make either reinforces the person you already are or nudges you closer to the person you are capable of becoming. Imagine waking up knowing that your mind, your body, and your environment are aligned toward growth, that every action you take, however small, compounds into results you can see and feel. That is the power of habits practiced with intent. It is not about waiting for the perfect moment or hoping for motivation to strike. It is about designing your life in a way that forces the right actions to happen automatically. Your mornings, your movements, your evenings, they are not just routines, they are the battlegrounds where your future is being decided. If you want a life of clarity, energy, and purpose, you must understand this fundamental truth. The habits you practice every day are far more powerful than the decisions you make in moments of crisis. They determine your resilience, your focus, and your ability to act when it matters most. And here's the most empowering part. Anyone can do this. It doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter how many times you have failed before. Your brain is capable of change. Your body is capable of growth. And your mind is capable of mastering the actions that create extraordinary results. All it takes is a commitment to start small, to repeat actions consistently, and to hold yourself accountable. One small habit, practiced every day for 30 days, can completely alter the trajectory of your life. 2 habits magnify the effect. 3 habits combined with focus and consistency create a force that feels unstoppable. You begin to act differently because you start to see yourself differently. Fear begins to lose its grip. Doubt starts to fade. You step into days with a sense of purpose that cannot be shaken by setbacks, a clarity that cannot be clouded by confusion, and a confidence that cannot be stolen by anyone else. This is the psychology of transformation. This is the reason why the smallest, simplest actions, repeated deliberately, are capable of producing monumental change. The path forward is no longer about wishing, hoping, or waiting. It is about understanding the invisible rules that govern growth, leveraging the power of your mind, and choosing deliberately to align your daily actions with the life you are determined to create. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not bound by past failures or limited by what you see around you. Every action you take today shapes the person you will be tomorrow. Every choice compounds into progress, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. The question is whether you are ready to make that choice consistently with courage and with the discipline to see it through. The first habit that changes everything begins the moment you open your eyes. Your mornings are more than the start of a day. They are the foundation of your life. How you begin sets the tone for every decision, every interaction, and every action that follows. Most people wake up reacting, scrolling, rushing, worrying, letting the chaos of the world dictate their state of mind before they have even had a chance to center themselves. But the people who transform their lives understand this simple truth. Clarity in the morning creates power all day long. When you start with focus, intention, and presence, you are no longer a passenger drifting through life. You become the driver, steering each moment toward purpose and achievement. The power of a focused morning is not just in what you do, but in how you condition your mind. Your brain craves structure, and when you give it a small ritual of deliberate action, it begins to operate differently. Stress no longer hijacks your energy. Distraction loses its grip. Motivation no longer feels fleeting because the habit itself carries momentum. Even 10 minutes of intentional practice, writing down your priorities, reviewing your goals, breathing deeply, visualizing the day you want, signals to your mind that this day will be different. Every thought becomes sharper. Every choice becomes deliberate. You start noticing opportunities where before you saw obstacles. You start acting instead of reacting. You start believing that the life you want is possible because your actions prove it to yourself before anyone else can. The emotional impact is immediate. A calm, focused mind breeds confidence. Energy flows more freely through your body. Decisions feel lighter because they are made from a place of alignment, not panic. And as your mornings compound, you notice a shift in identity. You are no longer the person who drifts. You are the person who takes charge. You are the person who shows up. This is not theory, it is psychology in motion. Research shows that people who adopt morning routines that cultivate focus, reflection, and intention consistently outperform those who rely solely on willpower or motivation. The habit rewires the brain to prioritize what matters, to resist distraction, and to strengthen the neural pathways that lead to action and resilience. The emotional reward is profound. You feel alive, purposeful, and unstoppable before the world even demands anything from you. The ripple effect touches every part of life. Work becomes sharper, relationships become clearer, and every challenge feels smaller because you face it from a place of readiness, not depletion. The first habit is deceptively simple, but its impact is monumental. It transforms your mindset, primes your body, and fortifies your spirit. Every morning you commit to it, you are telling yourself and the universe that you will no longer be dictated by circumstance. You are choosing control over chaos, intention over reaction, momentum over hesitation. This is the moment where small action creates giant shifts. 1 month of this practice, and the way you move through life is no longer the same. You carry energy, clarity, and purpose into every interaction, every decision, every task. Your mornings are no longer ordinary. They are the launching pad for transformation, the invisible force that begins reshaping everything you thought was permanent in your life. It starts now. It starts with the first deliberate breath, the first focused thought, and the first conscious choice to rise with clarity. The true power of this first habit is not in a single morning, but in the ripple it creates when repeated consistently. Every day you show up for yourself, your mind begins to rewire. You start noticing patterns, spotting distractions before they pull you in, and choosing action instead of hesitation. Your focus sharpens, your energy stabilizes, and a sense of control emerges that you may have never experienced before. The subtle changes accumulate quickly, and the results are undeniable. You move through tasks with purpose, decisions no longer feel heavy, and even challenges start to feel like opportunities instead of obstacles. Your confidence grows not from luck or external validation, but from the simple fact that you are proving to yourself daily that you can be disciplined, deliberate, and present. Every successful person, every leader, every innovator understands that transformation is rarely dramatic. It is the accumulation of small, intentional choices over time. The morning ritual is the foundation for that accumulation, and its effects go far beyond the first hour of the day. Your habits dictate your identity, and your identity dictates your results. By claiming your mornings, you are claiming a version of yourself that acts, that conquers fear, that refuses to drift. The psychological shift is profound. When you begin your day with clarity, your brain interprets the rest of the day differently. Stress no longer feels like a threat. Problems no longer feel insurmountable. You operate from a place of readiness, not reaction. You become the person who can handle pressure without panic, who can focus when distractions scream for attention, who can act decisively when hesitation tempts you. This is more than discipline. It is empowerment. The emotional reward is immediate and lasting. You wake up feeling grounded instead of rushed, energized instead of drained, and purposeful instead of scattered. You step into every interaction and every decision with a calm certainty that transforms not only your performance, but your perception of what is possible. You begin to recognize that your past habits, the ones that left you tired, distracted, or frustrated, were not your limitations. They were choices you were repeating unconsciously. And now, by choosing intentionally, by showing up each morning with clarity and focus, you are breaking free from that cycle. Your brain begins to crave the structure, the presence, and the focus you give it. It adapts, strengthens, and grows in alignment with the life you are building. The habit compounds. The small victories of each morning create a cascade of confidence, momentum, and resilience that flows into every area of your life. Within 30 days, the difference is tangible. You move differently, think differently, and respond differently. You are no longer merely living days. You are orchestrating them. You have created a foundation so strong that every other habit, every other action becomes easier, more natural, and more powerful. The person you are becoming is unstoppable because each day you are choosing control, clarity, and purpose over chaos, distraction, and doubt. You are not waiting for transformation. You are creating it deliberately, consistently, and without compromise. The first habit has begun its work, and its impact is only growing. You are changing from the inside out, and nothing will ever feel the same again. The second habit begins with movement, but it is far more than just physical activity. It is the deliberate act of activating your body to awaken your mind, to charge your emotions, and to signal to yourself that you are alive, capable, and unstoppable. Your body and your mind are connected in ways that most people underestimate. When you move with intention, when you raise your heartbeat, stretch your muscles, or simply engage your body in purposeful motion, you release energy that fuels clarity, focus, and resilience. Stress begins to fade, anxiety loses its grip, and the fog of indecision lifts. Movement is a message to your brain. You are here to act, to grow, and to transform. It is a declaration that you refuse stagnation. that you will no longer settle for the inertia of comfort, and that every day will be an opportunity to strengthen yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. Even small bursts of activity have profound effects. 10 minutes of movement can ignite endorphins, boost dopamine, and reset your nervous system. Your energy rises, your mind sharpens, and suddenly the obstacles that seemed overwhelming start to feel manageable. The ripple is immediate, focus becomes easier, motivation becomes natural, and the confidence to tackle challenges grows with every heartbeat. This is the psychology of movement. Your brain interprets physical activity as progress, and that perception strengthens your sense of capability. Each deliberate motion becomes proof that you can act, that you can discipline yourself, that you can break patterns that have kept you stuck. The emotional impact is equally significant. You feel alive in a way that sitting, scrolling, or waiting cannot create. You feel control over your body and, by extension, over your mind and your life. Your posture changes, your energy shifts, your presence commands the room even before a word is spoken. This is not just exercise, it is empowerment. It is reclaiming a part of yourself that may have been dormant, proving that you are stronger, more resilient, and more capable than you have allowed yourself to believe. Consistency compounds this effect. A single session awakens the body, but repeated daily, it transforms identity. You are no longer someone who contemplates, hesitates, or waits for permission. You are someone who acts, someone who moves, someone who refuses to be held back by fear, fatigue, or doubt. The science is clear. Regular physical activity strengthens neural pathways, enhances memory, improves emotional regulation, and increases cognitive performance. Every movement you take is rewiring your brain to operate at higher levels, to respond to challenges with calm decisiveness, and to pursue goals with relentless determination. The emotional reward grows with each day. Energy becomes predictable, clarity becomes habitual, and confidence becomes undeniable. You step into the world lighter, sharper, and more capable than before. The second habit is not about perfection or intensity. It is about deliberate, consistent activation of body and mind. It is the bridge between intention and action, between thought and result. Within 30 days, the cumulative effect is unmistakable. You move differently, think differently, and act differently. Your body fuels your mind drives your actions, and your life begins to accelerate in a direction you are consciously creating. This habit transforms not only how you feel in the moment, but how you experience every day that follows. You are awakening power that has always existed within you, and with each step, each stretch, each deliberate motion, you are claiming it. The true power of intentional movement goes far beyond physical strength. Every deliberate action you take with your body rewires your mind. It teaches your brain that effort is rewarding, that progress is possible, and that you are capable of more than you have allowed yourself to believe. Movement is not just a habit. It is a signal, a declaration, a proof that you are alive, that you are in control, and that you will not be passive in your own life. Each time you push yourself, stretch yourself, or simply step into action, you are breaking old patterns that have kept you small, stuck, or stagnant. The emotional impact is immediate. Energy rises, motivation surges, clarity sharpens. Tasks that once felt heavy now feel manageable. Decisions that once paralyzed you now feel within reach. Your mind begins to operate differently because your body is telling it that you are capable, that you are strong, and that you are ready to act. This is the essence of empowerment. When you combine this habit with the clarity you cultivate in the morning, a remarkable transformation begins. Your days are no longer dictated by distraction, fatigue, or indecision. Your mind is alert, your body is alive, and your spirit is ready to tackle whatever comes next. You start to notice opportunities instead of obstacles, solutions instead of problems, and momentum instead of hesitation. This is the compounding effect of consistent action. One day of movement energizes the body. Repeated days strengthen identity. You begin to see yourself differently. You begin to believe differently. Fear loses its grip because every day you prove to yourself that you can act in spite of it. Doubt fades because every day you demonstrate that effort produces results. Your confidence grows because every day you rise and move intentionally and deliberately and feel the power that comes from taking control of your life. The science behind this is undeniable. Movement increases dopamine, improves focus, reduces stress, and strengthens neural pathways that enhance learning, memory, and decision-making. Every session rewires your brain to perform at higher levels, to think clearly under pressure, and to act decisively when it matters most. The emotional reward is profound. You feel alive, capable, and unstoppable. You step into your day with energy, clarity, and purpose that radiates through everything you do. It is not just about the body, it is about creating a feedback loop where action generates energy, energy generates clarity, and clarity generates results. Within 30 days, this habit transforms not only your performance, but your identity. You are no longer someone who hesitates or waits. You are someone who acts, who moves, who creates momentum in every area of life. Your mind and body are aligned. Your focus is sharp. Your energy is steady. Your confidence is undeniable. This is the habit that bridges thought and action, intention and execution, desire and achievement. Every movement you take compounds, building a version of yourself that is stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. You are not just moving your body, you are moving your life forward, proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible, and creating a foundation of power that will carry you through every challenge and opportunity that lies ahead. The third habit is reflection, the act of pausing at the end of the day to examine your thoughts, your actions, and your results. It is more than a routine. It is a tool that transforms experience into growth. Most people rush through life, moving from one task to the next without ever stopping to understand what worked, what didn't, and why. They accumulate mistakes, frustration, and confusion, and they wonder why progress feels slow, why energy feels depleted, why clarity feels impossible. Reflection changes that. It forces your mind to slow down, to process, and to learn. When you review your day intentionally, you begin to see patterns that were invisible before. You notice what elevates your energy and what drains it. You recognize decisions that bring results and choices that hold you back. Every observation becomes insight. Every insight becomes fuel for improvement. The emotional effect is immediate. Gratitude rises, pride grows, accountability strengthens. You start to feel in control because you are no longer at the mercy of unconscious habits or scattered attention. Your mind becomes a tool you wield with precision rather than a storm you are trying to survive. Reflection is also a signal to your subconscious that growth is non-negotiable. Your brain begins to track progress, reward effort, and reinforce the behaviors that move you toward the life you want. It is a silent architect of transformation, building pathways for focus, discipline, and resilience. Even 5 minutes of intentional reflection rewires your thinking, increases self-awareness, strengthens decision-making, and boosts emotional intelligence. You begin to see clearly how every action connects to your goals, how every choice influences your identity, and how every day contributes to the trajectory of your life. The compounding effect is extraordinary. One day of reflection is valuable. 1 week shapes perspective. 1 month creates clarity that changes how you approach every challenge, every interaction, and every opportunity. Your confidence grows because you understand yourself more deeply. Your focus intensifies because you can identify what truly matters. Your energy stabilizes because you are no longer wasting it on chaos, regret, or distraction. This habit bridges intention and action, thought and result, ambition and reality. It turns ordinary days into learning experiences, and learning experiences into transformation. When combined with the habits of morning clarity and intentional movement, reflection completes a cycle that strengthens your mind, energizes your body, and elevates your spirit. You are no longer drifting. You are directing. You are not reacting to life. You are shaping it. Within 30 days, the effects are unmistakable. Decisions feel lighter, challenges feel smaller, and your sense of self becomes unshakable. You sleep with peace, wake with purpose, and act with certainty. Reflection transforms the internal world so that the external world responds differently to you. You notice opportunities that were invisible before, solutions that were hidden, and momentum that feels unstoppable. It is a habit that teaches mastery, not only of life circumstances, but of yourself. It is the silent engine that drives growth, resilience, and excellence. Every day you pause, observe, and learn, you are reinforcing the identity of someone who does not settle, who does not drift, and who refuses to be defined by yesterday's limitations. You are creating a life that reflects your highest potential, and the foundation of that life is built on the power of deliberate reflection. The power of reflection is amplified when it is paired with deliberate action. Observing your day is not enough. You must respond to the insights you gain with intention and courage. Every realization about what works, what drains you, or what holds you back is an opportunity to adjust, to refine, and to elevate yourself. The brain is remarkably adaptive. When you notice patterns and act on them, you begin to rewire your neural pathways for success, resilience, and clarity. Your mind stops seeing obstacles as permanent and starts interpreting them as feedback, as signals guiding you towards smarter, more aligned choices. Emotionally, this creates freedom. Anxiety fades because uncertainty is replaced by understanding. Frustration diminishes because awareness replaces confusion. Confidence grows because every day you take ownership of your actions and their consequences. Reflection transforms passive living into active mastery. It teaches you to pause before reacting, to analyze before deciding, and to act with foresight instead of impulse. This is the difference between living at the mercy of circumstance and shaping your life deliberately. When combined with the morning clarity that sets your focus and the intentional movement that energizes your body, reflection completes the cycle of alignment. Your mind, body, and spirit begin to operate as a unit, creating momentum that carries through every hour, every decision, and every interaction. Each habit reinforces the others. Clarity enhances your capacity to act during movement. Movement fuels your mental sharpness for reflection. Reflection illuminates the adjustments needed to optimize your mornings and energize your body. The synergy is undeniable, and the results are measurable. Within 30 days, your mental acuity sharpens, your energy stabilizes, and your emotional resilience strengthens. You begin to notice subtle shifts. You handle stress with calm instead of panic. Challenges feel manageable instead of overwhelming, and your choices increasingly align with the life you envision. The psychological principle behind this transformation is simple, yet profound, consistent, intentional action rewires identity. You become the person who prioritizes growth, who seeks clarity, who takes deliberate steps toward mastery. Your habits are no longer external routines. They are expressions of your identity. You act differently because you see yourself differently. Fear loses its grip because you have evidence that you can act in spite of it. Doubt diminishes because each day reinforces your confidence. Momentum becomes inevitable because each habit compounds with the others, creating a force that feels unstoppable. Emotionally, this creates a sense of liberation. You are no longer trapped by indecision, distraction, or lack of focus. You are empowered by the consistency of your actions and the clarity of your purpose. Your mind becomes sharper, your energy becomes more predictable, and your confidence becomes unshakable. Reflection, practiced intentionally, transforms ordinary experiences into catalysts for growth. It turns setbacks into lessons, challenges into opportunities, and days into steps toward mastery. You are no longer drifting, you are steering. You are no longer passive, you are deliberate. Every insight becomes action, every action compounds, and every day becomes evidence of your unstoppable evolution. The habit of reflection is the invisible engine behind transformation, silently shaping the person you are becoming and the life you are building. When these three habits, morning clarity, intentional movement, and reflection, begin to operate together, the transformation becomes exponential. Each habit reinforces the other, creating a feedback loop that accelerates growth and magnifies results. Clarity in the morning primes your mind for decisive action. Movement fuels your energy and sharpens focus. Reflection turns each day into a learning experience that strengthens identity and reinforces progress. The combination is unstoppable because it addresses every layer of human potential, mental, physical, and emotional. Momentum becomes inevitable when you commit to this cycle. Small actions compound into consistency. Consistency builds confidence. Confidence strengthens resilience. Resilience fuels courage. And courage allows you to take bigger steps toward the life you want without hesitation or fear. This is the essence of transformation. It is not the rare, dramatic event that changes your life. It is the repeated, intentional practice that shifts identity, reshapes thought patterns, and rewires behavior at a fundamental level. Emotionally, this creates a profound sense of empowerment. You feel capable, grounded, and in control. Stress no longer hijacks your mind. Distraction no longer drains your energy. Fear no longer dictates your choices. You move through your day with the clarity and purpose that feel unstoppable. Your actions begin to align with your intentions because your habits have redefined who you are. You are no longer reacting to life. You are shaping it, moment by moment, decision by decision. The science behind this is undeniable. Neural pathways strengthen when behaviors are repeated. Dopamine reinforces progress when effort leads to results. Your brain begins to operate in alignment with your goals, responding to challenges with strategy instead of panic, and to opportunities with action instead of hesitation. The emotional reward is immediate and lasting. You wake up with energy instead of dread. You step into your day with confidence instead of uncertainty, and you close your evenings with satisfaction instead of regret. Within 30 days, the effects are visible and undeniable. Your focus is sharper, your energy is steadier, and your emotional resilience is stronger. You begin to handle pressure without panic, setbacks without frustration, and opportunities without fear. Identity shifts because every day you are practicing habits that define the person you want to become. You are no longer the person who drifts. You are no longer the person who waits. You are the person who acts, who grows, and who transforms. This is the compounding effect of consistent, intentional action. It is the force that makes ordinary days extraordinary, that turns small decisions into monumental change, and that reshapes your life without requiring luck, permission, or perfection. Momentum is no longer optional. It is inevitable because you have chosen it deliberately. Your habits now carry you forward. Your mind now operates at higher levels. Your body now fuels your growth. Your spirit now drives your actions. Everything aligns to reinforce the person you are becoming, and nothing can stop the momentum once it has begun. This is the power of integrated, consistent habits. This is the blueprint for transformation. This is the evidence that in 30 days, your life can change dramatically, not because of luck or circumstance, but because of the choices you make, the actions you take, and the consistency you commit to every single day. Even with momentum building, resistance will always appear. Your mind, conditioned by years of comfort and habit, will resist change because it fears the unknown. It will whisper doubts, create excuses, and make the familiar feel safer than the extraordinary. This is natural, but it is not your limit. Resistance is a signal, not a barrier. It is proof that you are stretching beyond the boundaries of your past self and stepping into a higher version of who you can be. The difference between those who transform and those who remain stagnant is simple: action in spite of resistance. Every time you face hesitation and choose discipline, your identity strengthens. Every time you push through fear and take deliberate action, your confidence compounds. Your brain begins to associate effort with growth, discomfort with progress, and challenge with opportunity. Emotionally, this creates power. You begin to realize that fear is not a stop sign. It is a marker that you are moving in the right direction. Doubt is not a verdict. It is an invitation to prove yourself. Discomfort is not a punishment. It is the catalyst for transformation. When you embrace resistance, you convert it into momentum, using it as fuel rather than letting it paralyze you. The habits you have built, morning clarity, intentional movement, and reflection, become your tools for overcoming resistance. Clarity grounds you when fear clouds your judgment. Movement energizes you when lethargy threatens to stall progress. Reflection illuminates patterns that allow you to adjust, improve, and grow. Each habit reinforces the other, creating a cycle that strengthens your capacity to act decisively even when resistance is strong. The psychology is undeniable. Repeated exposure to controlled challenge rewires the brain to respond with resilience instead of avoidance. Each victory over hesitation builds evidence of capability. Each act of courage strengthens belief. Each small success compounds into the emotional certainty that you can handle whatever life presents. Within 30 days, this practice transforms not only your actions, but your perception of yourself. You are no longer intimidated by fear, uncertainty, or the unknown because you have faced it daily and proven to yourself that you are capable. Resistance becomes an ally, a measure of progress, a reminder that you are expanding, growing, and evolving. Emotionally, you experience a profound sense of liberation. You no longer wait for motivation because you understand that action creates motivation. You no longer hope for courage because you act in spite of fear. You no longer rely on luck because consistency and discipline become your most reliable allies. Momentum is no longer dependent on external conditions. It is generated from within. Your habits now drive you forward. Your mind now operates with clarity and focus. Your body now fuels your actions with energy. And your spirit now propels you past any obstacle. Resistance is no longer a wall. It is a stepping stone. Every challenge faced, every fear confronted, every hesitation overcome compounds into unstoppable growth, redefining who you are and reshaping what you believe is possible. You are no longer waiting for change to come. You are commanding it, and nothing can stop the force you have begun to create. The force of transformation is built on consistency, not bursts of effort. It is not the sporadic moments of motivation that change lives. It is the deliberate, repeated actions performed without fail. Every morning you rise with clarity. Every session of movement you commit to, every moment of reflection you take compounds into an identity that is unstoppable. Your brain begins to expect growth. Your body begins to thrive on energy. Your emotions begin to stabilize around confidence and purpose. Consistency rewires your mind to anticipate progress, to reward effort, and to reject distraction. This is the core of mastery. Momentum is not a product of luck or timing. It is the inevitable result of repeated intentional action over time. When you commit to showing up for yourself day after day, resistance loses its power because it becomes familiar. Fear diminishes because you have already proven your capacity to act in its presence. Doubt fades because the evidence of your competence is visible in every choice you make, every habit you maintain, and every result you achieve. Emotionally, consistency brings freedom. You no longer chase fleeting motivation or rely on external circumstances to drive action. You no longer feel at the mercy of circumstance, environment, or emotion. You create the conditions for success deliberately and intentionally. Your mind becomes a disciplined instrument, capable of focus and clarity. Your body becomes a vessel of energy and strength. Your spirit becomes a source of resilience and determination. Within 30 days, the effects of this consistency are undeniable. You begin to see patterns in your behavior that reinforce success. You notice subtle shifts in your energy, focus, and emotional stability. You handle challenges with calm precision instead of reactionary stress. Your confidence becomes automatic because it is built on the repeated evidence of your capabilities. This is the psychology of transformation. Identity is forged through repeated action, not wishful thinking. Your habits do not simply create results. They redefine who you are. You are no longer the person who hesitates, doubts, or drifts. You are the person who acts with intention, grows through discipline, and commands momentum in every aspect of life. Every day compounds into the next, creating exponential progress that feels unstoppable. The emotional reward is profound. You experience a sense of control, mastery, and power that cannot be shaken by temporary setbacks, external chaos, or internal uncertainty. You wake up with purpose, move with energy, reflect with insight, and face resistance with courage. Each habit strengthens the others, creating a feedback loop that fuels relentless growth and transformation. This is the life-changing effect of consistency. It turns ordinary days into a system of unstoppable progress where identity, behavior, and results align seamlessly. Momentum is no longer a choice. It is a state of being produced by the simple yet powerful act of showing up again and again without fail. Your transformation is inevitable because you are no longer waiting for permission, luck, or perfect conditions. You are creating it deliberately, consistently, and without compromise, and nothing can stop the force that you have begun to generate. Every action you take sends a message to yourself and to the world about who you are and what you are capable of. Habits are not just routines, they are declarations of identity. Every morning you rise with intention, every movement you engage in, every reflection you practice reinforces the person you are becoming. The power of this realization is transformative. You begin to understand that your life is not shaped by circumstance, luck, or timing. It is shaped by the repeated choices you make, the habits you maintain, and the actions you take, no matter how small they may seem. Identity is the engine of behavior, and behavior is the engine of results. When you consistently act like the person you want to become, your mind, body, and emotions align with that identity. Resistance becomes manageable because it is met with the authority of someone who has proven themselves capable over and over again. Fear becomes irrelevant because courage is built through repeated practice. Doubt loses its voice because evidence of competence accumulates daily. Emotionally, this creates profound empowerment. You feel capable, you feel resilient, you feel unstoppable. Every task feels lighter because you operate from a place of alignment. Every decision feels clearer because you act from clarity rather than confusion. Every challenge feels smaller because you face it as someone who has already proven the ability to overcome. The compounding effect is extraordinary. One day of consistent action produces results. A week reinforces identity. A month transforms perception, behavior, and outcomes. Your brain begins to rewire itself to anticipate growth, reward effort, and reject stagnation. Your body adapts to energy and resilience. Your emotions stabilize around confidence and purpose. Momentum becomes inevitable because each day of deliberate action strengthens the foundation of who you are. The psychology of transformation is clear. Habits shape identity, and identity shapes results. By committing to consistent practice, you create a self-reinforcing cycle of growth, clarity, and confidence. This is why some people seem unstoppable, even when challenges arise. They are not extraordinary because of luck or innate talent. They are extraordinary because they have aligned identity, behavior, and action through repeated, deliberate practice. Emotionally, the reward cannot be overstated. You wake up empowered. You move through the day with intention. You reflect with insight. You act with courage. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are the architect of your life. Within 30 days, the changes are undeniable. Your decisions feel lighter. Your energy feels steadier. Your focus feels sharper. Your confidence feels unshakable. You handle setbacks without panic and opportunities without hesitation. You see yourself differently, and the world responds differently because the energy you project matches the person you have become. Every habit, every choice, every action compounds to reinforce this identity. You are no longer drifting. You are no longer waiting. You are moving intentionally, deliberately, and with unstoppable momentum. The transformation is not a possibility. It is inevitable because you have aligned your actions, your mind, and your emotions with the person you are determined to become, and nothing can stop the force that is now moving through you. The clarity that comes from identity-driven action transforms not only what you do, but how you see yourself. When habits shape identity, every choice begins to feel natural because it aligns with the person you are becoming. Discipline is no longer a struggle, it is an automatic response. Energy is no longer fleeting, it is sustained by the reinforcement of repeated practice. Focus is no longer a luxury, it is a product of a mind trained to prioritize what matters most. Emotionally, this creates a profound sense of freedom. You no longer live at the mercy of distraction, indecision, or external circumstances. You operate from a place of control, strength, and clarity. Your actions reflect intention rather than reaction. Your choices reflect purpose rather than convenience. Your days reflect growth rather than drift. The psychology behind this is simple but powerful. Repeated behaviors create neural pathways that solidify identity. Every time you act in alignment with the person you want to become, your brain rewires itself to expect growth. It reinforces effort with reward. It diminishes fear with evidence. It replaces hesitation with momentum. Within 30 days, the transformation is tangible. You feel sharper, more focused, and more capable. Your energy is steady. Your confidence is unwavering. Your mind processes challenges with calm precision rather than panic. Your body carries the energy of someone who acts deliberately and consistently. Every small action compounds into results that feel almost automatic, yet are the product of deliberate, intentional practice. Momentum becomes inevitable because your habits are no longer optional. They are the foundation of who you are. Resistance loses its power because it is met with identity-backed action. Fear loses its voice because courage has been rehearsed through repeated practice. Doubt fades because evidence of competence has accumulated daily. Emotionally, you experience liberation. You are no longer waiting for motivation because motivation arises naturally from the structure you have built. You are no longer relying on external validation because internal consistency fuels confidence. You are no longer guessing about your potential because every day you prove your capability through action. Your habits now carry you forward. Your mind now operates with clarity and focus. Your body now fuels your actions with energy, and your spirit now propels you past every obstacle. The compounding effect is exponential. Each day reinforces the identity of a person who acts decisively, thinks clearly, and grows relentlessly. Each moment strengthens the alignment between intention, behavior, and results. Every action, no matter how small, compounds into a life that feels unstoppable, inevitable, and fully within your control. Transformation is no longer a distant possibility. It is the product of deliberate, repeated, and consistent practice. The clarity, energy, and confidence you cultivate daily become the driving force behind every success, every breakthrough, and every moment of personal mastery. You are no longer reacting to life, you are shaping it. You are no longer drifting, you are commanding momentum. You are no longer waiting, you are creating the life you were meant to live every day with every deliberate action you take. The habits you have built do more than create results. They redefine your perception of possibility. When your mornings are intentional, your body is energized, and your mind reflects on growth, you start to operate from a level of self-trust that is unshakable. You no longer question whether you can handle challenges. You know you can. You no longer doubt whether you can sustain progress. You have already proven it through repeated action. Your confidence is not fragile or conditional. It is rooted in the consistent demonstration of your own capability. Emotionally, this creates empowerment at the deepest level. You feel grounded because your actions align with your intentions. You feel unstoppable because each day compounds into evidence of your strength. You feel clarity because the noise of indecision, distraction, and doubt has been replaced by the structure of intentional habits. Momentum becomes inevitable because your identity now carries it forward. Your brain has been rewired to anticipate effort as growth, challenge as opportunity, and discipline as natural behavior. Resistance no longer intimidates you because it has become familiar, a marker of progress rather than a barrier. Fear loses its grip because courage has been practiced daily and reinforced neurologically. Doubt fades because each day builds undeniable proof of your competence. Within 30 days, this process produces results that are not just visible, they are deeply felt. Your focus sharpens, your energy stabilizes, your emotions become steady. Your perception of your own potential expands. You no longer measure yourself by the limitations of yesterday or the expectations of others. You measure yourself by the consistent evidence of your daily actions and the momentum they generate. Every habit you practice compounds into identity, and identity becomes the engine for every decision, action, and result. The psychology is clear. Repeated action rewires belief, builds neural pathways for success, and reinforces resilience. Your mind, body, and spirit operate in harmony, each supporting the other to amplify growth. Emotionally, the reward is profound. You feel alive. You feel capable. You feel unshakable. You wake up with purpose, move through your day with energy, and close each evening with clarity. You are no longer passive. You are deliberate. You are commanding momentum that carries through every hour, every choice, and every challenge. This is the invisible force behind transformation, the compound effect of small, consistent actions executed with intention, clarity, and courage. You are not waiting for motivation to arrive. You are creating it. You are not hoping for clarity to appear. You are generating it through structure. You are not relying on luck or circumstance. You are building your life through deliberate action. Every morning you commit, every movement you take, every moment of reflection compounds into evidence of your power. Momentum is no longer optional. It is inevitable. You are no longer drifting through life. You are shaping it, creating it, and commanding it every single day through the habits that have become an inseparable part of who you are and who you are becoming. The momentum you create through these habits is not limited to your personal achievements. It begins to influence every area of your life. Your relationships shift because your clarity and presence allow you to engage fully, to listen deeply, and to act intentionally rather than react impulsively. Your work transforms because your energy and focus enable you to operate at a higher level, make better decisions, and produce consistent results. Your health improves because your body is energized, your mind is calm, and your emotions are steady. Every sphere of life becomes a reflection of the discipline, consistency, and intentionality you practice daily. Emotionally, this creates profound empowerment. You feel capable in ways that extend beyond individual tasks or goals. You feel resilient because you have established habits that fortify your mind and body against uncertainty, stress, and distraction. You feel confident because you have built a foundation that reliably produces results, regardless of external circumstances. The psychological principle is undeniable. Behavior shapes identity, identity shapes perception, and perception drives reality. When you consistently act in alignment with the person you aspire to become, you reinforce your ability to navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and create outcomes that were previously unimaginable. Resistance may still arise, but it no longer dictates your actions. Fear may still appear, but it no longer paralyzes your choices. Doubt may still surface, but it no longer undermines your confidence. Each habit, morning clarity, intentional movement, and reflection, serves as a tool to manage these challenges and maintain alignment with your purpose. Repetition compounds their effects, creating neural pathways that favor growth, resilience, and decisive action. Within 30 days, the results are both tangible and deeply felt. Your energy stabilizes, your focus sharpens, your emotional resilience strengthens, your perception of your own potential expands. You begin to see that the life you have been striving for is not a distant dream. It is the direct outcome of your intentional actions, repeated consistently and compounded daily. Momentum becomes automatic because your identity now carries it. Your mind operates with clarity. Your body fuels your growth. Your emotions support your decisions. Your spirit drives you forward. The compounding effect is unstoppable because it has become a part of who you are. You are no longer waiting for conditions to be perfect, for motivation to appear, or for luck to arrive. You are producing momentum from within. You are creating results because your habits have aligned with your identity. You are becoming the person who does not drift, does not hesitate, and does not surrender to fear or doubt. You are becoming unstoppable. Emotionally, the reward is profound. You feel alive, empowered, and fully capable of taking on whatever life demands. You operate from a place of certainty, clarity, and purpose. Your days are no longer random or reactive. They are deliberate, productive, and transformative. Every action, every choice, every habit reinforces the momentum you have built and amplifies the force driving you toward the life you are meant to live. You are no longer a passenger in your own life. You are the driver, the architect, and the force shaping your destiny, one deliberate, consistent, and empowered action at a time.